everybody. I am Catherine Govea, certified pediatric sleep consultant and founder of Cloud9 Sleep Consulting. And I'm so glad that you're joining us for today's Sleep Tip Tuesday. Today, I wanted to talk a little bit about bedtime burnout. I think that that's a real thing, that oftentimes families roll into bedtime feeling totally burnt out, exhausted, and sometimes defeated. And I think sometimes there are some simple solutions that we can look at to make bedtime easier and more enjoyable for everybody. So the first thing I think it's important to look at is, what time should your little one be going to bed? I think choosing an appropriate bedtime is really helpful, because if we know what time bedtime should happen, we can kind of plan backwards from there. So we can make sure that dinner happens and bath and bedtime routine all based off of the time that you want your little one in bed. So choose an appropriate bedtime. And then I think often families get overwhelmed in this cycle of like getting dinner ready and making sure that you play and have, time to get out last wiggles and energy and doing baths and then bedtime routine and all of that. And so meal prep and meal planning can be a huge lifesaver in terms of kind of saving your sanity for bedtime. So think about planning ahead for meals so that you can make that end of the day time easy and relaxed. You don't have to feel rushed and like you have to fit every last thing in those 2 hours between when you walk in the door and bedtime. The next thing that I find is that oftentimes bedtime routines are just too long. And I think that is on our part as parents in an attempt to really create this super soothing environment before bed, right? We all get this idea, this concept that if kids are relaxed before bed, that then they should just like doze off into dreamland and it should be easy peasy. But sometimes if our routine is too long, we kind of cross the threshold of when our child might be ready to go to sleep easily, and they kind of cross over into this overtired or wired state. And that's when I hear families say, well, they get a second wind at 7 o'clock, or they're just wired. There's no way that they would settle down to go to sleep. And that's usually an indication that we've kind of missed that window. We might have stretched it a little bit. So keep your bedtime routine short and sweet. 15 minutes is usually plenty for most kids to kind of wind down and know what's coming next. The last thing I wanted to touch on today was that some families feel burned out because either parent feels like they are the only one that can get the child to sleep. And so I think it's really important to be able to come up with a plan for allowing other caregivers, whether it's a co-parent or a grandparent or a babysitter, somebody else, to be able to help your child get ready for bed. And one key factor of that is actually independent sleep. So if you are nursing your baby to sleep, or feeding your baby to sleep, or walking your baby to sleep, or rocking your baby to sleep, or driving your baby around to get them to sleep, giving your child the gift of learning how to fall asleep independently is huge, because if your child can fall asleep independently, then really any caregiver can do your bedtime routine, right? So I think that a lot of times families feel that working on independent sleep automatically means needing to let your baby or your child cry for an extended period of time. And I'm here to say that is just absolutely not the case. My philosophy with sleep is always to be responsive to children's needs, and to be mindful of their developmental stage and your parenting style, and to find a plan that really aligns well with that. And it does not have to mean crying it out. There are lots of gentle methods that we could use, but that independent sleep is really important if you're feeling burnt out because you're the only one who can get your little one to sleep. So those are 3 main areas where I see burnout happening, and a few quick and easy tips to kind of help you start to shift that narrative. I hope that you'll try some of them out and give me some feedback about what you find if you change them. And I hope that if you're struggling with bedtime burnout, that you would reach out. I would love nothing more than to chat with you and help get you on the path to easy breezy bedtimes. So that's it for today. I hope you'll join me again next week for another Sleep Tip Tuesday. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.